So in spirituality, what is one of the things we always say? Go inside, right? Everybody think they know what that means, but this makes you go inside.
Yes.
And at the beginning, you stand outside and you know it because it hurt inside. I gotta stay outside for a while until the smoke is clear. That's why you want to keep coming back more and more, forcing you to go inside by holding a position. The more you get relaxed and so that, from my experience, I've met some good people on the planet. Been to the game, but they ain't know what's going inside me until they meet this. Serious. And it does clear the way for you inside. The more you practice this is actually called medication. It's on record for people who have different illnesses, if they stuck with it in the medical profession, people clear it up. Many diseases, so this is considered meditation. Now, depending on your health, if your health is pretty good, you should practice once a day. Now, seeing that? Now, if you got deeper health issues, you should get about 2 to 3 shots of medication a day. To get your health improved, you could lighten up the medication, the dosage, go to once a day. See how this is medication. We always think medication is just somebody cocking up something. No, it goes deeper than that. What do they call that in herbology when you don't need to ingest it?
Spirit dosing.
Spirit
dosing.
Whoa.
That's the name they give it. But that's sort of like, see, it's just
take the
names.
essence of the plant. Yeah.
It will still get the same thing. Now let's put it together. Y'all heard of tree attunements, right? Hugging a tree, connecting with the electromagnetic field of the tree. You can use that. But see, that's medication. See, somebody got to give you the wording what that is. Now let's take it to another level. Would you do with me when I had that harmonic translator? And what it was you could put your finger on it and read your electromagnetic field. And it'll show you where the blockage is at in your energy field. They had the technology there. But anyway, it will tell you what herb or whatever you need to take to clear that blockage. But the machine, this was over 20 years ago and I had it. The machine, you just type it in and it will send a frequency to the person.
Oh, I was there.
You was there.
Yeah.
Now that was 20 years ago, but I was just with a friend this year who lives in Phoenix. So technology raised, right? It's the same concept. It's a lighter machine. I got a video of it when I was at his house. It does more than just read your aura. That's what we was using it for. But it will send a frequency on what you need, and you got it. Now, don't that sound like food? You didn't have to take it here. Don't think the system don't know. Everything is frequency and vibration. This is good, ain't it? And if the technology can do it, you can do it. That's where they got the idea from, us. Don't you send healing long distance? That's medication. Put it all together. So what is the breatharian knowledge? You just learn how to feed yourself differently just from vibrations. A thought. You got to build up confidence in yourself. Take away the fear. Know how to do it. Know how to charge yourself up. It'll get easier and easier and easier because perfect practice means what? Perfection. I know we like to say, well, ain't nothing perfect. No, not in this world. Everything perfect. The laws is perfect. We just learned how to line up with them so they can work. Oh, so we see how we're looking at the world. Why wouldn't it be? We wouldn't be here. This is good. So now, look at what she says in this chapter. Feeling the energies in the body. Because when you can start feeling the energies in the body, which Qigong will show you that, now you got something you can focus on. You know where your blockages is at. You know where they're at. Before you didn't know. I was talking to some young man on Skype one day. And I know I ain't got no blockages, and I'm looking at him because I can see energies. I'm like, he don't understand what we're talking about. I ain't got no blockages, so I'm just ready to go. Here we go. But he don't understand what we're talking about because he's never been through the experience. Once you go through the experience, then you know what we're talking about. So this breatharian journey, we pumping it over and over again. People think they know until you come into it. It's a whole different ballgame. And 9 times out of 10, people come into it the wrong way. Starving themselves. It don't come out too good. You don't come in that way without connecting with the light first. Because it's the light that's supposed to, that don't even make sense, don't it? Doesn't that just make sense? Connect with the energy source that's going to sustain you first. Then you let go. That's like, don't jump off the cliff until you put on your parachute.
Yeah.
See how wise that is? People were jumping off the cliff thinking, well, mythical thinking that the parachute supposed to come get them. Because I got faith. Well, let's see how your faith goes. Boom. What happened? No, go get your parachute first. Make sure it works. Look, make sure it works. Something's faulty. Right. See somebody else jump first. Get the instructor to tell you how to do it. There you go. Everything will be good. This is the same method. Now listen how she says this. Nothing can be forced. Nothing. You can meditate on that right there, huh? Nothing can be forced. So like I was telling y'all about my biking journey. It don't matter how much I worked out, how big the muscle was, when the body got wore out, it wouldn't let me go nowhere. That's something, ain't it? It was over. My mother even said something one time, she caught a stroke. And she liked to joke around. And she said, yep, as I was laying there on the floor, the body wouldn't move. And I'm looking at the phone right there. I said, I just got to sit here. Right. But we was laughing about it, but she never had that feeling before. My body won't work. That's messed up, ain't it? This is your bread and butter right here, no pun intended. Got to get this baby on board. And then this is what she said that was good too. My grandfather had a stroke, so she was taking care of him. You know, half of his body can't move. So he used to call her to come get him something because she was taking care of him. And she used to get mad at him, saying in her mind, I know he can move that arm. He just want to get on my nerves and call me. I know he can move it. Because she don't know how he feel. But this is what she said when she had a stroke coming down the road. She said, now I know how you feel. I'm having the experience. And I used to think he was just playing it off just to mess with me. But if you would have been a person telling her about a stroke, you know, what it's about, she'll probably say, you can't tell me nothing because I took care of somebody who had a stroke. You felt that, didn't you? So a lot of people talk out a second person just because they knew somebody who could do it. But they still don't know what it feels like.
Think about myself, how misguided how much I blocked myself off from knowledge thinking my secondhand knowledge or my indirect experience made me an expert.
Right! That's something, ain't it? And it's the same with this journey. There's people teaching out there now don't know what a clue or the Breatharian feel like or what it is, but they're teaching it. Because somebody told them how it's supposed to go. It happens. Not putting them down, it happens. They don't know yet. But when you know, that's a whole different ballgame. Because you're having first level experience. You know what it is. So that was good when my mother told me that. And see how I'm using my mother's experience to teach this class? Everybody I'm talking to in life is teaching me something. When she was telling me that, just by telling me that story, I said, oh, that's a good Breatharian message. She didn't even know I was going to use it. I had a cousin who's a musician telling me about music one day, and I'm thinking about the Breatharian message. That's how sound works. That's how I'm thinking. Your mind is always thinking about how the light works, even in a common, everyday conversation. That's wild, ain't it? Oh, man, now here we go. Nothing can be forced. If we push into something for which we are not yet mature, we will encounter problems on a painful lesson. That makes sense, don't it? If you're not yet mature, that's why they got a thing called spiritual maturity. You ever heard of that? What does that mean, spiritual maturity? Now, since we're using the word energy, somebody who's knowledgeable about energy. See how we changed it? And if a person ain't knowledgeable about energy, that they might be a what? Spiritually immature. It don't got nothing to do because they smiling at the nice lady or nice man. That's not what we're talking about in this game. You got to educate yourself on how spirit works, energy works. And when you get that, perfect practice make perfect. See how we put it?
That's was that the third pillar where you gotta, the energy don't change for you. You gotta adjust to the energy. So spiritual immaturity would be maybe energy is, I don't know, 2, 4, 6. And you're like, nah, I'm 1, 3, 5.
Right.
But you gotta adjust yourself to 2, 3, 6 and realize my way's not gonna get it. It's alignment with
And
it.
then that's where you got spiritual maturity. You aligned yourself on how the rules are already running and how they're flowing.
Mm-hmm. Because they run the same. They run the same with your musician cousin.
Exactly.
They run the same. It's no matter what.
Universal.
Yeah.
Universal laws. They're not breaking for humans. So that's when you got spiritual maturity, energetic maturity. You know how it works. Or you're going to have a what? Painful lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Painful.
Yeah, had a few of those.
You ain't the only one.
Oh no.
Coming into this learning, you're going to go through those trials. That's why you're a scientist. There was a young girl in this one retreat that was her first time doing 5 days with no drinking and stuff like that. So she was proud of herself that she could do it. And I was teaching her in the class, but when you break lightly. All right, here we go now. But I just happened to see her at this restaurant with her boyfriend. No problem. But when the trays came to the table, and she tried to play it off. Well, that's for him and not me. Now they ready to throw down. That's a table for two. I just smiled. It was all good, right? But then she gave me the call the next day. And sometimes for me, I cannot understand why people will even ask me that. She called me up. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to use the bathroom and it hurt. What's going on? Why are you going to ask me what's going on? And I saw you last night. And I know what y'all ate, right? But you know, I got to be nice. Well, I think it was the food, don't you think? She just wanted to confirm it. Yeah, I know. But she paid her lesson. But she's a good soul, though. Because she's still in the Breatharian game. You might as well round of applause for her. She's that wise. Doing a good job, too. But she had to go through that lesson because she wanted to go over universal laws. System shut itself down for 5 days, slowed down. She just going to bust it back open, putting heavy food in there like there ain't nothing going to happen. The consequences came.
Well, even for me, like last night, I got, which my mind told me, my body told me don't do it. but I did it anyway.
You did it anyway, rebel.
I just got some chocolate milk. Chocolate milk. And I drank it. And then I just felt horrible. I felt nauseated, gaseous, everything. I was sick for about an hour and a half. I was like, oh my God, I know I shouldn't have did this. Because I was just drinking liquids, which is different. But I got that chocolate milk.
Low heavy substance. Yeah, low heavy.
Yeah, it was horrible.
You felt the consequences. This is what we go through.
Yeah.
But those are the learning experiences. This is what we tell it. The body will let you know it don't lie.
It told me not to.
The body is the greatest barometer on this journey. Even technology can do with that one. They got some good technology. You can read this or read that. But this will read where you really at. That's why you want to at least get in tune to go inside. No matter how much it hurt, you can feel it. Working with it. Then you're working directly with the universe. What needs to be done, what needs to be cleaned up, where the blockage is at. You can't hide it either. That's something, ain't it? That's why they call this the book. This is the book. You start opening up the book to the universe.
Could you all relate that to the scripture that says, be still and know that
I'm the Lord.
Yeah.
Be still. That's meditation. Get still and you can, feel the vibration of the Lord. And I'm glad she brought that up. Oh, man, y'all ready for this?
Yes.
See how this goes another route. It ain't even planned
No,
for
it's
it.
not. It's there. You're good.
What'd you say, El?
See how this goes another
You're
route?
fine.
Not even planned,
There's no
but it's
right
all in sync. And we were talking about this one time, but now, when you go over it again, it makes sense. Because some people talk about going into stillness. What was that? What? on the E.
Turned off.
Oh, yeah, I just turned on.
Going into stillness. Now, there's two things. And I listen to people, and some people, once I hear them talk, they're going off the scripture, but they're not making it a reality. Is there a sound? I'm going to ask y'all this question. Is there a sound in stillness? Is there a sound?
Let me just think about that for a moment.
Yeah.
Sound in stillness.
Is there a sound in stillness? Because if there's a sound in stillness,
You gotta be.
Yes.
there must be not the stillness that we think it should be. So you're challenging yourself. Because of spirituality, they keep saying, go into stillness. And there's people that's really trying to stop their thoughts. But I ain't never met nobody that's successful.
Yeah, really knows.
Because they're going off of it. Are y'all following me?
Mm-hmm.
Even while you being still, like your heart is constantly pulsing
Thank you.
and making the vibrations that go through the body that
Thank
keep
you.
emanating.
Or even the sun shining, like you said, the sun has the sound, so you're hearing that whether you can hear that or not.
Thank you.
But now you said in stillness. You didn't say in your body.
Still the same.
I'm going into stillness in and of itself.
Or what you can,
Because
and just you can get into.
Mhm.
Because how can you talk in stillness in itself, and if you can't go there without your body right now, all of a sudden that's a debate or philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm separating the stillness from my body. I'm looking at the stillness contained.
Because keep in mind, that stillness you're talking about, we gave it that definition, but is it true?
Well,
See, this is why we want to come, because if we get grabbing that passage or that scripture, we're not doing it just to separate. We want to know what it means so we can really go
Right.
into it and use it.
And still doesn't mean silent. It just means
Still.
still.
Yeah.
And then
So
you still-
anything could go on while you still, because while we was doing
But
qigong
this is
and meditating
valuable.
stuff, we was sitting still,
And how many lessons?
and all
I've
type of stuff was going on.
learned so many lessons in stillness.
Right. Learn so many lessons in stillness, so something's going on.
That's when all my lessons come to me. Most of them. That's when
Mhm.
things come to me. Just, oh, I've been doing that.
And now
And
you're just
so-
more
Now
in
it's-
tune, and you're more. How do I say it?
Now what you said is good. They
Yeah.
got a room in Virginia. A room in Virginia. You probably could go to it. It's at some university. I gotta get the name. But they learned how, because keep in mind, sound itself is just going on a canvas. Because we broke the sound barrier. Humans have broke the sound barrier. So that shows you it got broken. It's like on a canvas. So that made us able to create a room that has no sound in it. We're able to do that. So, if the sound is cut off, what does a person hear?
They're all thoughts.
And what
Your
else?
own sound.
Huh?
Own sound.
your body, the
You'll hear your body.
And your
Yeah,
heartbeat
your body.
and your blood rush.
You'll hear your blood,
Your own sound.
your own sound. So, oh, go ahead.
For some reason, I think about a deer.
And I know when I was doing like I did float tanks, and it's sensory deprivation, so it's like you can't see any, like cuts off all the light from your eyes. You can't hear nothing.
Right.
Like you floating on this water, it's the same temperature as your body, so it's like you suspended into the universe basically.
Right.
And while I was there, like I could hear my eardrums boom, 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 because my
Hear it
heart and
now.
stuff.
your heart.
Catch number
And
one.
then eventually, like that ended up like it was so relaxing because you settle into that. I like went out.
Listen what he said now. You said 2 good points. Now you say you hear in his ears and then whether it's
The eardrums.
It's
You
beat
said
and
very-
stuff.
you hearing your heartbeat.
Before
Yeah,
you
the
heard
hips,
this-
and you hearing it in your ears
Right.
and stuff. Then
so he's
eventually,
hitting it
it's-
right on the head. That's the stillness they're talking about in spirituality.
Yes.
When they say you're going into silence, you're going into a place to hear sounds you don't normally pay attention to.
So you hear that cancer cell, you hear that.
You'll hear it all. If something's good or bad, that's when you're going into your body.
Yeah.
And what gets you there first?
Meditation.
You gotta be still first. Now, heard that first, because you might hear all types of stuff screaming. Mad at LA time, like I'm beating up on you, keeping your hands up. But after a while, when you can settle in more, you're going into hearing what's going on inside of you. And that's time to change. from a chaotic sound to a more rhythmic, if I say that word right. The rhythm should be good. Do you know it? That's when you're in stillness. Oh man, this is good, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is flowing. Sort of like the difference from a car that somebody started up, you hear rah. Then there's some cars, I didn't even know that was started up. I didn't even know. The engine is just that smooth. And they give you a thing about it. I did a video one time. A lot of people want to catch it, but this is what it's saying. There's a thing called samadhi, a person going in samadhi. That means, but see, they got it wrong. This person went into stillness. They so much so they went behind sound itself, but they're playing games. The reason I say that because I met this one woman, she could go into samadhi, and I'm looking, no, she can't. Now, I'm not judging her or being bad. You know why I say that? I ain't had to judge her. She told me so. I got cancer, I got diabetes, you ain't got no samadhi. You know what I'm saying? I had to break it.
Yeah.
But if you play the game and don't know the definition, everybody will be playing around and you don't even know. But when you know what to look for, you know who's being truthful, who's doing this, so we can even out, and you can help them instead of just busting them out. But she asked for help, that's why she had to tell me that. Everybody else is boosting her. She could go into somebody, okay, she played the game because she was asleep. But that's not what we're talking about. Now, I'll give you an example. There was a young man one time, it was one of those people who don't talk much. You ever meet those people? They don't talk much. That's cool. But he had a lot of chaos going on in his life. You know what I said to him one day? You're a noisy person. You're not quiet. You're not quiet. You're noisy. Huh? Because all of that sound is coming off you. You don't need to talk from there. But you're bringing a sound is going against the universe. That's why I keep coming to you that way. You're noisy. You caught it. So we got to straighten up that sound.
So you said he had a lot of chaos in his life. Like what?
Because don't we hear all the time, your external is going off of what's going on inside you.
Yes.
So all that external, even though he was acting innocent and the victim, I could see through it. You're creating it. You're doing it. You're not the victim.
You create your world whether it's good or bad.
You're not the victim. You was playing that game. And people who just look at you as not never saying nothing will look at you as, I guess he really ain't doing nothing. No, that's the mastermind behind the operation. He was causing chaos, making cars crash. Right, planes come out the air. That was the master right there. I was happy to see him. You noisy. I caught him. Right. Then I was able. That's wild, ain't it? We all talking, but the energy is coming off you. And he was grateful for it because at least he listened. All right, now you caught me. Yeah, I do create all this stuff. Right. He was able to straighten out his sound, straighten out his thoughts, straighten out his beliefs, and everything kicked online and it changed his life. Oh man. So that's why it's important on this breatharian journey for us to first what? Before we even think about letting food go, you got to go inside, straighten everything out. Because if the program ain't got it that's inside of you, the forces ain't going to back you up. Why should it? Oh man, that's wild, ain't it? This is what they say in the Kabbalah. First they look at the human being as a cube, like the 6 sides. That represents the human being. Up, down, side, up. That's the human being. So that's why they say, we use that word ego all the time, right? That's just ego. What is ego? Anybody? It's a person. You've been listening to me long enough. It's just a person. It ain't good or bad. And some people think it's just straight negative. I got to kill my ego. Don't we hear that? Why do you want to kill yourself? That's why you never meet nobody who actually killed their ego. Now if they're standing there talking to you, I'm looking at you. You ain't kill your ego.
So you're redefining that then.
Right.
Okay.
Or we bringing it back on how it should be defined. Keep in mind, spirituality got hijacked.
Mhm.
And a lot of your spiritual teachers over the last 50 years been redefining stuff
Mhm.
because they know it got hijacked. They all talking the same thing. What? Supreme Master Ching Hai, Ben Ami, Sri Aurobindo, the mother over in India, they all redefined because they know it got hijacked. And when you look at their new definitions, all of them are lined up, even though they're from other cultures. All we're doing is bringing it back. Because the other one was a rat race, that's what it was designed to do. To put you in a rat race, you ain't had nothing to pinpoint on, that's why you never see nobody really getting really alike.
But then, can you be a little bit more specific then when you say that the ego is a person? Because I know the Western understanding of ego. So what's the Eastern or the spiritual definition of ego as a person?
Well, she said that word Western, right? All right, it's a person. All right, she made a good point. What is a person? All right, but wait for me, Josh, you're listening to me.
Of course, I know.
But when we think of a person, we think of a man and a woman, a human man and woman. But it's also a dog, a cat, that plant, that's a person. Why you think you're a vegan? So you won't eat other people. That's capital. What they call that?
Cannibalism.
Right. Some people actually went there. What does a human taste like? I bet you probably throw down if nobody told you what that was. If they fried it up like bacon. You wouldn't know. Boy, what is this?
Like sauce on it?
Chicken.
Put some sauce on it, right? I know it sounds crazy, but it's real.
Especially
You'll probably tear it up. They had a cartoon one time where some birds was eating some food, and one bird was eating some chicken McNuggets, and somebody said, "Oh, that's a bird." He said, "Hey, we eat our own species." They know until somebody told them. And when you look at all those end of the world movies, they always got cannibalism in it.
Yeah.
If a people can't find no food, you better watch out. They got their what? Napkins on, their forks and spoons coming at you.
That's why they say that the mad cow came, they started feeding the cows.
Their own kind.
Their own
Yeah.
kind, yeah.
Right.
I don't know how true it is, but come on.
Well, it makes sense because they had a thing where humans did practice eating other humans, and there was a certain disease that got developed from eating your own kind. So yeah, there's truth
Well,
to that.
you heard of the pygmies? That's their part of their culture.
Well, not today. Once upon a time, they explored it, but still, that's where those sicknesses got found at. Absolutely.
So come on with this person now.
Okay, now
Okay,
a
you said
person.
the planet dog.
Now-
Yeah, you.
What an ego is just your personality.
Okay.
It's a program. An ego is a program, so everything has a program. Now, does that make sense?
Yes.
So just as humans got a program, a dog has a program, a cat. And let me show you about a dog. If a dog was walking down the street right now, what is he thinking about?
Whatever is right in front of them.
Well,
Food, maybe.
he's thinking about what's going on in his life. See what I'm getting at? That's his life. He ain't thinking about us in this room. We could be looking out the window and say, look at those crazy people. But he thinking about it all his life. I gotta go get pet right now and go meet so-and-so. He is. He's on a mission.
Find his food.
Go find his food. And then when we say a plant, one time there was a tree, standing strong. They decided to build a house in front of the tree. The tree didn't take that. He grew to wrap around the tree to get to the house, to get to the sun. That's an ego. I gotta live. I can't let you do this to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make it. It's about survival. And we always like to say, act like plant life is all just humble. Plants fight each other and choke each other out for the sun to live. Aggressive.
Those vines.
Weeds and stuff.
Aggressive. We didn't look at it like that, did we? That's an ego. But it's just a person, which is a life form that has its program.
So how does that relate to us?
So what you got to do, it ain't about killing the ego. It's just a program. It's a person. It's you. Just change the program. That's why everybody talk about transformation. Change the program. That's all. Other than that, keep trying to kill it, you're just killing yourself. It ain't going nowhere. You were born with it for a reason. To bring in information, and that's how you're born. Just like the cell phone. Remember I said it has a certain application, and that's what you got. But now you want to explore something else. Oh, you got to download that app first. See what I'm getting at? Let me download the app. Then when you got the application, now you can explore that other avenue of information. But when you didn't have the app, you couldn't do it. Same with the human being on everything we do. You want to learn to play a guitar? Never played it before? You got to go get the application. Got to go get it downloaded. That's A, scale B, read music. Practice, practice, practice. Just like a download. Some things download faster than others. Depending on the machine, because some computers are more stronger than others, the download is faster, this one's taking it slower. We're the same way. That's why they get this concept. But once you got the download inside, now you can explore that other information. On everything. This is good, ain't it? Got to get it downloaded, the information and practice, and you can change it. So what the Kabbalists are saying, here's the six-sided cube, which is a person, which is an ego. The universe around it, have you ever heard a scientist say, we live in a universe, there's information everywhere. They'll tell you that. The average person don't know what they're talking about. There's information everywhere. So all this information, you're living in it. All knowing, all seeing, it has all the information. That's what you live in. That's wild, ain't it? But you're sitting here in this box, closed off from all this information. That's why there's a scripture saying, and the Spirit of the Lord hovered over the face of the deep. Something was dark. And then pretty soon when you keep going, let there be light. Pretty soon it can get in. The information got in. But right now it's just hovering over it. This is one of the days of creation. That's wild, ain't it? So all this information here. Now some is coming in, or you wouldn't be alive. Some is coming in through this way. All of that energy, all that information, but there's a program in here. Based on that program, it's going to filter it. And that's what comes out on the other side when you call your life, the projection. It's coming in this way, all that information, woof, but it gets filtered. The program makes the difference. Whatever in that program or programmed it, that's what comes out on the other side.
So how we identify light. The light comes in, but if I identify as a African American male, it gets filtered through all that, and then I project.
That's your reality.
I have these problems because I'm a male, and these problems because blah blah, and I'm a balance
Right.
because of this. Okay.
And you want to have that experience.
Right, and that's my
See how that works?
Yeah. Where if I was not identifying with anything, it would just be light coming through. If I didn't identify as a male, as a black male, as an American.
Here we go. That's why in Ramalinga's work here, what he's saying the human being got to do to get into the oneness consciousness, you got to break ethnicity, race, language, all this other stuff. You want just put a list, etc. So more light can come in. Other than that, it's just going to go through the program and it's going to filter it out this way.
All your labels.
All your labels, belief systems.
Experiences.
Right. Got to heal them up. They have a new experience. That's wild, ain't it? So dealing with the Breatharian journey, minerals, vitamins, fruits, vegetables, what's keeping me healthy, that's all a program.
Even calling yourself a breatharian is a label.
It's a label.
Just moving towards the light and being the light.
Being an energy worker, or letting it just come in. Break the filter.
Even that is some of the stuff you
Even
said we got
that.
to go inside and clean up before we can be
Right.
Or
He said
anything.
that, and that's the clean stuff. I mean, that's so much cleaner than the dirt that I have.
What?
Okay.
Well, yeah, I wasn't even going to say
I
that.
got a mess to clean up.
He was over here smoking. But it's all about the program. And see, they even telling you that what's his name, Bruce Lipton and them, they're telling you the same thing. To change your what? Genes, your genetics, your DNA, which is a program. You got to do it through either meditation, or you can reprogram yourself through repetition of a new habit, or you can reprogram yourself through the theta state your brain goes in when you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you start getting a new program. So it can slowly, what, bring something out different. But if this ain't changed, you can try till you blue in the face. That's why fasting only to become a breatharian didn't do it. People think that's what it is. The program hasn't changed yet. All you're going to do is go back to the last program. That's all you know. Remember I showed you that scripture, a dog always go back to his vomit? You go back to his vomit. Start licking it up.
Mm.
That's just what we do. Go back to your old habits and ways, because you don't know the other route and all of this. So this got to slowly get changed. This is good. But once this get changed, everything is easy. It's easy, whatever you seek it. So the breatharian frequency, just think we have some frequencies. Just the meat frequency, this, that frequency, different frequencies. Now this is the prana frequency. It's right here. Now it ain't gonna come to this because they ain't used to it too. The program ain't here. But once the program get there, it'll go there because that's the radio station. This is the radio that can handle it. But there's another person here, I want to be a breatharian. They can't even go to that radio station. It got another program there. So this has to slowly get cleaned up first. So that's why you're going slowly and gradually to put this new program inside the machine. And then it'll be easy. You'll be like, man, this was so easy. What was I doing beating up on myself? And all I had to do was change the program. That's wild, ain't it? Oh, man.
So letting go of your, what was I just going to say, your labels goes hand in hand with letting go of judgment.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
you're not judging others and yourself, and that's such a big part of our identity culturally. It's just, we started off as youngsters being judged by others and responding by judging back. And so this is where we are right now. So when you let all that go, you really see other people as beings, light beings.
Right.
Yeah, I'm aware that like you're a man, I'm a woman, but really,
Just like
is there a difference between the two of us, right? We're both spirit, right? So you don't see the difference between anybody, no matter what they do, who
gotta
they
start
are,
working.
what they look like, anything. So you see people differently, then you start seeing yourself differently. You see yourself as a light being. Like, who was I talking to this morning? That phrase, note to self. I like to replace the word self with source. So whenever you're talking to yourself, say, oh, note to source. Refer to yourself as source.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Refer to yourself as God, or however you
It's all
wish
mental
to
work.
do that. But it makes a big difference in changing your identity to a higher place.
That's why I told y'all, really wealthy people know this message better than the average person, whether they're doing it or not. Remember Elena's husband?
Yes.
He said, she says, because he's like on some oil stuff, right? So they banking, all right. But this is what she said. There was times I brought the vegetarian diet to him. We looked at it like this, vegan or fruits and vegetables. But she grabbed the breatharian message. She said, oh, he really gonna reject this. He saw it. He saw it. Why would he see it? Because he know that wealth is accumulated by the program inside of a person. See, they already had the esoteric knowledge, just filtered down to us now. We say, that gotta be unbelievable. I was taught to work, strive, long hours. It's the program. And then Elena came back and said that this billionaire that was at this thing, and he was telling her how hard he had to work on his mind. See where we're getting at? Writing things down, removing belief systems so he could change the program, and all his wealth came out. He ain't even talking about what made him rich. It don't matter. What did you sell? What, baby dolls? It wasn't that. He wasn't even thinking on that level. Let me break the program first. That's something, ain't it? That's why the ancients said everything is mental. Everything is mind. See, even that word spirit really don't exist. That's just a word we're using. But it's a mind. That's wild, ain't it? Oh, man, I just got high. Serious. This is your mind. And they're telling you more and more you create your own reality. Now, when everything going good, you accept it. Well, when things go a little shaky, no, that ain't my mind. No, wait a minute. But when you start accepting it, here we go. So that's why it's so important to start going inside, stand inside to straighten this stuff up. If the body's smooth and happy, the mind is happy. If the mind is happy, the body's happy. There's no separation. That's why they say, I always say to y'all, how do you know you raised your vibration? How would you know?
Look at your life.
Well, let's bring it on a little subtle one. When the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body are all feeling light. Listen at that. Because you could be what? Feeling or looking good physically, but have you ever been emotionally messed up? Okay, so the emotions ain't feeling light. Or your emotions could be in check, your physical body in check. Have you ever been mentally heavy?
Yes.
See what you can start seeing it. Or you could be emotions good, mind is good, but the body feels heavy. But if you get the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body, all three of them feeling light. That's something, ain't it? Just to think of it. That feel good, don't it? Man, my physical body feel good. My emotions feel good. My mind feel good. Wow! It will automatically bring on the experience of happiness, joy, love, and peace. Automatically.
Would you say that's maybe that might be a good day to test out your caloric intake, maybe lower it down and see if you are still sustained?
I ain't telling you nothing.
Okay.
Only if doing so keeps you happy.
And notice,
And feeling balanced, because what he's talking about is balance, right?
and notice I ain't even saying that about food.
No.
I ain't saying that about food. I just said if all of them is balanced out, feeling light, you will experience happiness, joy, love, and peace.
Which may not make you hungry, so you may not have to
Right.
test anything.
You wouldn't even have to test nothing. Because you're feeling so good, you might forget.
Right.
That's what happened. Automatically experience it. It's hard to, for somebody to get to you when you're really feeling good. You only fire right back is when you've fed up too and feel grouchy. I was on this bus one time, this older man was hollering at me. But when I seen how he was walking off, I said, oh, poor thing. You know,
Yep.
he was hurting in his body. That's why he went off.
Yeah.
I said, oh, man, I see that. You can see it. He was hurting. Wow. So that, when you can see, you don't have to fire back. You felt his pain. And it had nothing to do with you. If he had a good day, all I did was I forgot what I did. Oh, I forgot to get my bag. I didn't get it fast enough. You lost it, right? You probably had to stand up a little too long, you know? You got me standing up more and I'm already hurting. He went off on me. He went in. Right. You know, I'm just giving an example. But with everything feeling, now this is the,
Well, now we're talking about, were we talking about creating your reality?
But let me get to the second half of this. Hold on, hold that thought. So the first half, when you feel light in your physical, emotional, and mental body, you will automatically experience happiness, joy, love, and peace. Then the second part is, y'all ready for it? You will have little, or no aches and pains in the physical body, and your emotions will be easily dealt with. That's the other part the spiritual community didn't have, because a lot of people are hurting physically, they don't understand this. So that means the vibration is still low. But if you stick with going inside, got the energy flowing, you're removing programs, you will have little or no aches and pains. I like how they say that word little. Give you some leeway. Yeah, the body is going to take on stress at times. Just living. Y'all follow me? Just living. I was driving a scooter one day, not eating or drinking, but bugs that was flying in the street. Well, I guess I ate a bug then and broke the journey. But
So you do eat, see?
yeah, see? Eat at that. Bugs, meat. They taste like chicken.
Wait, on this house.
Right.
Yeah, a bug in 20 years. You
Oh,
ain't gonna pack that in.
man. Right. People will hit you on it. You eat bugs. And the body will get rid of them. Don't worry about how it's going to get rid of them. Right, but it will. It's resilient. Oh, man, this is good, ain't it? But see, and your emotions will be easily dealt with. See, even with spirituality, don't fool yourself that you just got to get rid of all emotions. No, nature gave them to you. So when we look at emotions like anger, how should we say, what's that other one? Fear. It just have another definition to it. See, there's an anger that can make you get more proactive on something you should be doing.
Yes.
You follow me? Mm-hmm. Instead of tearing everything up as if it's a strong emotion. You took it differently. There's a fear of being afraid of doing something, but there's a fear that says, don't go this way. You know, you felt it.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get rid of them, it's how they're used. And they're easily dealt with, meaning, have you ever seen somebody, well, I don't talk to so-and-so no more. I'm still mad at them. When that happened, 5 months ago, you still mad at them and hate them? Your emotions ain't easily dealt with. That should have got, okay, he got up under you, but it should be easily able to come off. A period on that long, it's stuck in the program. So you're still going to take on stuff of life, but it's handled differently, filtered differently. So you're still living another existence. Whoa. So that's how you know you got a higher vibration. But when things stick a little, and this is good to know, because just say if you do get on your journey a little dense a little bit, you know you're getting dense. Something happened. Then you can ask yourself, all right, that did happen yesterday, and I'm still thinking about that. Okay, my vibration is dropped. You caught yourself. My vibration is dropped. Let me deal with it. Now this makes sense what Buddha went through under the Bodhi tree when he achieved enlightenment. Now enlightenment, we made it so big and spooky, it felt like that none of us could do it or we've never been here. But when we explained it, how we were leading up to it, oh, I can do that. What did he do? All he did was sat there in Vipassana, or just sit there, relaxed. Don't the energies automatically take care of themselves? You just sit there. And I'm sure it was shaking. Sat there. Pretty soon visions and pictures start coming up. Past memories start coming up. You can do that. Stuff you thought you forgot about is going to come up.
Mm-hmm.
But all your life experiences got stuck in this program. This is where they're at. That's why meditation cleanses you.
Your experience and some experience from your ancestors.
Even that. This is where this is coming up. So as he was going through that, he had to really look at stuff, because before he probably looked at it as he had nothing to do with it, or these things that hurt him. You know what I mean? Some things, trauma that was all in his body. But when it came up, it'll make you look at it with the bigger picture, because you got the light to help you. You looking at it with a bigger picture. Mm-hmm. You can see it different. Some things easier than others. You got to let it go. And as he sat there, kept sitting there, letting the light work on him, shaking stuff. Yeah, it probably wasn't easy. But when he made peace with it, it makes more light come into the body instead of holding on to it. Some things you say, I ain't ready to let that. I can't see that. Okay, it's going to stay there. The more you can work with it. Might take a little crying and all this, whatever. More light can come through. Get lighter. Oh, I can move this way. All I did was work on a thought.
Mm.
And then he achieved enlightenment. So that let us know what enlightenment is. You know what it is? Getting stress and tension off the physical body.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh!
Can you repeat that, please?
All it is.
All it is.
That's it.
Say it again, please.
Getting stress and tension off the physical body.
Okay.
Whoa, then we know. And what you doing right now? Light working with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get stress and tension out of the physical body. It's releasing. You're allowing it to release all the time. And every time more stress and tension get taken out, you feel better and better, lighter and lighter, more and more energy. Bang!
You see things clearer.
You see things clearer.
That's enlightenment.
Better thinking skills. See things before they even come. And you know why? Because that light is your mind. Give you new ideas. And it was just, in the physical body, I just called it that. This is a mind. An incarnation in your mind. You ain't got no physical body.
Yeah.
That's wild, ain't it? You don't have no physical body. Remember we did that analogy? The only time you think about your leg is when it's hurting. Your shoulder when it's hurting. I could go on and on, but if ain't nothing hurting, you ain't even thinking about your body. You can think about other things.
Yeah, we had this conversation just the other day, Sebastian and I, with Jesse, and we were talking about, what did he say, Sebastian? He said, when the belt fits, you don't feel it. When the shoe fits, you don't feel it. It's like,
Right.
it's almost as if, like, when you're, the only time you realize, like, you don't realize how healthy you are until you get sick.
Right,
And
until you get exhausted.
And you don't realize how much energy you have until it dips.
Yeah, that's right. Don't even know until it dips. Here we go. See, Jerome be taking notes. Yeah, that's right. That's why they say how you know you ran out of energy. When you feel exhausted and got tired, you just ran out of energy. There's a blockage going on. That's wild, ain't it? So what you got to do? Go recharge, remove the blockage, you'll have more energy. That's how breatharian is. So that's why when a person who just rolls, on a regular level, when they get tired, they have to go eat physical food. That's the level they at. When a breatharian get exhausted and tired, yeah, you will, depending on what you're doing. All they do is go rest and relax. See how those two charging up? And it ain't spooky. We got cars out there now doing that. Both of the cars will be at the parking lot. One is going filling up with fuel. The other one is getting electricity. We at that level now.
Well, no, we gotta rest and relax too. I said we have to rest and relax too. I mean,
Oh, you going to after you eat.
Oh well.
Yeah, we know that. We didn't even have to bring that part up.
Oh.
Yes, but once you eat, it takes a lot of food, energy to digest that food. You're going to get more rest than what you really needed. I had a woman in Italy say, we all know this, she said, when I eat something, it's harder for me to wake up in the mornings. Yeah, you're going to rest. You're going to do it all.
Well, many people eat at evening a lot.
Eat in the evening
So
a lot.
it puts them to sleep easier.
Put them to sleep easier, all this stuff. But there's a whole different system on how it's working. And notice I just said, breatharians get fatigued too? Yeah, see, some people don't think that. Yeah, go rest. Take a time out. Go charge up. Don't this loses its charge? If it's because you're using energy also just by living. Let's be clear. You're going to use energy. We just ain't saying bang, bang, bang. You're using energy for everything. So that you want to keep the system flowing. When you get too fatigued, you're going to charge up. Wow. Just like the cell phone. But the other person get the fossil fuels, what it is, it creates more toxicity. So it's another system on how it's running. That's a whole nother ball game. Oh man, that's something. It'll tear up the system after a while. So we're just saying slowly and gradually, you're upgrading your equipment so it can behave differently. In other words, you want to become at least a hybrid. You can take both fossil fuels and charge up electricity.
Yes.
A hybrid. Don't that make sense down to earth?
Yes, that makes sense.
It's just being one type of vehicle. You're expanding the vehicle. It can go either way. In other words, you was playing basketball, shooting with your right hand, now you learn how to shoot with the left. But you expanded you on the playing field. Ah!
You upped your game.
Up your game. That's what you're doing, upping your game. Oh man, this is good. Oh man. Y'all catching this, huh?
Yep.
Now y'all ready for some good meditation? Now when he get back, this is the meditation we're going to do today. Oh, I already told y'all, we're going to do the Merkabah, but we're going to create a bigger pyramids around the house where all of us is in it at the same time.